What's going on, you guys? Come on in. We're about to start a brand new episode of my show called Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website if you want to engage live in the content. You should go follow me. I'm over at Instagram Live. I'm at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVIN LOWCARBMAN. Once you're there, you can watch the show. We usually try to go on during the weekdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, and if we do a second one, it will be around 5 p.m. Eastern time. On the weekends, we try to do one show at 2 p.m. on Saturday and or Sunday. So if you're going to engage in the show, that's when we do it. JimmyRants.com is the website if you want to engage in the replay of this. Watch on demand. A lot of you guys have lots of time right now, so if you've missed any of the past episodes, we've done about 420-something episodes now. So if you've missed the show, go back and watch some of the older ones. Lately, though, we've been doing a lot on kind of the emotional impact of this coronavirus crisis we're going through. But the older ones talk about fasting and keto and healthy living and just a lot of my opinions about all kinds of things. So go check it out. Also, you can find the show on YouTube. Just type in a keyword, Jimmy Rants, you will find the show. So, yes, we are in the midst of having to basically radically shift our lives like we've never done before in pretty much our whole lives. Think about how many people were simply going through the motions of their life, getting up, making breakfast, drinking your coffee, getting your car, driving to work, doing your work, come home from work, eat, sleep, rinse, repeat. That was pretty much, and if you have munchkins, getting them to their activities. That was pretty much our lives. Well, now that we're being kind of forced to stay in our homes and as a means of blunting the effects of the COVID-19 coronavirus being spread, it's changed how we do things. And one of the things a lot of you guys are doing, if you didn't lose your job, if you lost your job, I feel for you right now. So I'm sorry that that's happening. But a lot of people did have the ability to shift their work to at home. And so I found an article, you guys, this was in the LA Times, that I wanted to talk about because I have worked from home for over 15 years now. And I got to tell you, when I first started working from home, the lack of structure around it took a little bit of getting used to. Because when you're in a job setting, you kind of have hours, depending on what kind of job you have, but you have hours that you get certain amounts of work done. It's very structured. You do this, you do this, you do this, you do this, you go home. Whereas when you work for yourself or work from home, that structure kind of becomes a little more loosey-goosey, especially if you have screaming and yelling of kids in the background or other distractions during your work day. So this article from the Los Angeles Times, working from home is awesome. Now here's how to excel at it. So I'm going to read the opinions of this author of this particular column, but then I'm going to add in my 2 cents worth. Like I said, having done this 15 years, I work from home. I have kind of a certain way I do things that keeps the flow of the work going while also incorporating a little bit of like de-stress time and things like that. So you ready? Here we go. I love working from home. I learned this week that this is apparently a controversial stance. How many of you right now who have been kind of forced to work from home, probably for the first time, how many of you could say you, quote, love it? Yeah, not many people are loving the idea of having to work from home. And again, those of you with little kids, I'm sorry. Like right now, this has got to be your worst nightmare. At least when you go to work, that's a little bit of your respite from the craziness that could be your kids. But it's the reality, and most people are having a tough time with it. The unfolding coronavirus crisis is forcing many of us to work from home in an effort to stop the spread. Not everyone greeted the news with a cheer, and that's how I learned that there are some people who claim to enjoy putting on work clothes, packing a sad desk lunch, and battling the morning traffic, but not me. Again, this is an article from a guy that works from home from the LA Times. I've had jobs where I worked from home full-time and jobs like the one I have now where I normally work from home every once in a while. I don't want to brag, but I'm good at it, is what he said. So a lot of the how to work from home guides popping up this week seem to assume that no one has ever pulled out their laptop to check their work email from home before. I trust you'll know the basics here. So here are some tips to work from home much more efficiently, stay connected with your colleagues, and maybe even enjoy yourself a little bit. This is the coolest thing, you guys. When I first started working for myself, I started working on a part-time basis with my Livin' La Vida low carb brand in 2005. I started blogging, started doing kind of things like that. I went full on, full time. This was my job in 2006. I've been doing it a good 14 years of just making this my job. And so I haven't been out in the real world. It was so funny when I first started doing this. A lot of the people in my life were like, so when are you going to go get a real job? I'm like, I do have a real job. I just work from home and I work for myself. What do you mean? Go get a real job. What they meant was a structured 9-to-5 kind of job. And I was like, no, that I hated working for other people. I liked the flexibility of making my own hours. I enjoyed kind of the pride that comes from doing the work in my own time. Like, all of that was so appealing to me. And can I tell you, almost 15 years later, I still love all of that. I do. So some of you are being forced into this. Now you're still working for other people, but you get a little more freedom. And that's what this author is talking about. So the first thing you can do to make this working from home better is, remember, you're used to having a commute to work, right? You're used to having to like get up early and kind of rush and the frantic pace to get out the door, and then you get stuck in traffic on the way to work. If you live in LA and you have to be on that crazy interstate of yours, or Washington DC area, you usually have to go through great pains of a long commute to get to work. Well, guess what? You ain't got a commute. Your commute is, okay, I can get started, right? So he says, sleep later. How long is your commute? How long is your pre-office morning routine? Selecting an outfit, doing your hair, figuring out what you'll eat that day, deciding what you'll pack for the gym. Add that time up and then set your morning clock to after all that would be over. How glorious would it be to get some extra Z's? And you're thinking, well, I should be up working at that time. No, you shouldn't. There's no demand that you do that. You're redeeming that time. This is one of the perks of working from home. When you get up in the morning, there is no urgency for you to have to go. Because that's what everybody does in their day-to-day life. When you work for yourself, sleep in a little more, you'll feel better, your brain will be clearer, all of these things. And then when you're ready to go, you're ready. And you could hit the ground running at about the same time that you would if you were driving to work and having to go through all the rigmarole of getting dressed and blah, blah, blah. So here's what you actually need to do before you start working from home. Be physically conscious, so be wide awake. Make sure you've woken up from your sleep. Hopefully you got some good sleep. And then be ready in front of your computer to start working. So that's it. Be alert and be in front of your computer. That is totally it. The author says, I'm firmly on team, only get dressed if you want to. Well, if you have little munchkins around, please don't just wear underwear. Not advisable. I literally have never done a podcast where I don't have at least a shirt and shorts on. I know there's people that do like naked podcasts. I'm like, nobody wants to see that image of Jimmy Moore when you're hearing my voice, imagining that I'm naked doing my podcast. No, not even Jimmy Moore wants that image in his head. So do dress appropriately. And I do know there's some people who say, dress for success, that even if you're not going anywhere, sometimes the thought of dressing up also puts you in the right mindset. Now, what I'm wearing now is pretty much what I wear in my day-to-day of doing my work. I'm very casual. There's no sense for me to dress up. I have no reason to dress up. I feel good in my own skin doing this show, doing podcasting and doing all my work all throughout the day, dressed in shorts and t-shirt. That's just my jam. If you feel good in jeans and a t-shirt, go for it. And if you want to get dressed up because it makes you feel more professional and you feel like you can be in the better mindset, then do that. Know yourself, and then dress appropriately. This guy says, I get up, I start the coffee maker, wash my face, brush my hair. I put on a different t-shirt than the one I slept in. I make up a bowl of cereal and a cup of coffee and then take it to my desk. And so my workday begins from there. So there is no reason to maintain your normal routine and not take advantage of the opportunity to get a little bit of extra sleep. Plus, getting in those extra Z's can help you from getting sick. And he'll talk about sleep later in this article. But that's all good, guys. Like, see this as an advantage. It's the little secret sauce of those of us that get to work from home all the time. We get to sleep later. Now, I'm one of those people that is an early riser, and I go to bed early. So I'm in bed by 8:30 at night, and I'm usually up around 4:30. Lately, with the stress of this, I've been up a little bit later, sometimes going to sleep, but then getting up in the middle of the night for a couple of hours and then going back to sleep. This morning, last night, I went to bed at 8, and then I was up at midnight. I did a few things from midnight to 3, and then I've slept from 3 until 6:45. So you're going to have those moments, but you have that flexibility when you work from home. So you just work with it and you roll with it. Number 2, those of you that joined us late, we're talking about tips on how you can work from home and excel at it, since so many of us with this COVID-19 coronavirus, we're being forced to socially isolate. So you're having to work from home. These are tips on how you can do it well. And so you can sleep in. That's the first tip. Second tip, set up your desk. Whatever space you're going to be working from at home, clean it up. Normally my desk at home has a bunch of bills on it that I need to file, a few bottles of nail polish. It must be a female author because I assumed it was a guy, but it's a female, because if a guy's wearing nail polish, I'm running. Bottles of nail polish, a couple of books, some mail, and a handful of old newspapers. If you're like me, mend your wicked ways. Make your home desk or your kitchen table or wherever you are working right now. Maybe it's your bedroom bed. Make the bed. Make it all clear. Feel like it's a work desk. Have everything there you need to work. Your phone charger, a box of tissues, a water bottle, a mug, pens and paper, really any kind of things that you need to do your job. If you don't have a desktop computer, try to use your laptop in a way that your neck won't ache by the end of the workday. This is the other thing. When you're not used to having to work for yourself, like I have an iPhone, and an iPad, and I have them angled at just the right level so it looks good on video. Well, as good as it's going to look with Jimmy Moore behind the camera. But it looks good on video, and I can see all of you, and I can talk to all of you simultaneously. Some people that aren't used to that would kind of crunch over and look at their laptop, and then they wonder why they have a crick in their neck at the end of the day. Consider putting your laptop on a stack of books. I have done that before. I've stacked up a bunch of books and stuck my laptop on top. Use an external keyboard and mouse so that you're staring straight at your screen and not down. So if you are having to do work, try to make it where you're just looking straight on to the screen and not where you're having to look down and kind of crunch over a little bit. Don't forget to walk away from your desk from time to time. Even when I worked in the real world out there and did some desk jobs, I always forced myself to get up. Now, since I was a little kid, I've always had to go to the bathroom a lot. And so back in my carb eating days and sugary soda drinking days, I would drink a whole bunch of liquids. And so I would have to go to the bathroom quite a bit because of that. So that forced me to get up probably every 30 to 45 minutes. So I did it naturally. But some people, they sit at a desk all day and they never get up. And those people get home and they wonder why they have a headache, why they're tired, and why a lot of things. Take lunch away from your computer. In fact, I would say right now, you're not forbidden to be outside. I saw my buddy Sean Baker, the carnivore diet, on Instagram Live yesterday. He made some video where he said, guys, don't pay attention to all this nonsense of just stay in your home all day and never get outside. You're not going to catch COVID-19 in the air. It just doesn't work that way. So get outside, get some fresh air, get some sunshine. And so during your lunch time, go out there and take advantage of that. Okay? At the end of your workday, get up and do something else for a while so that your brain can differentiate from the work time and now being off. This is the other thing about working from home. It's a great propensity in your mind to just keep work, 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 work. 5 o'clock comes, work, 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 still answering emails, still checking social media, still doing this, still doing that. 9 o'clock, 10, work. And you never stop that work mode. You have to stop. So at the allotted time that you're supposed to stop working, radically shift, go do something else. I'll go sit in my massage chair or get in my hot tub, get in the infrared sauna. I'll do something that will take my mind off of it. Maybe I'll play Words with Friends for a half an hour. Something that says, okay, workday is over. And you change your mind so that you realize, okay, workday's over. Now I can go do the things that I would leisurely do at night anyway. And the last thing they say in that one is to stretch. So setting up your desk, all that stuff throughout the day. Don't forget. Ooh, I just did that and I felt like 3 things crack over here. So, I've got one of those foam rollers too, and I love to roll. So if you don't have a foam roller, get one. And when you do, try to roll from time to time, definitely over your glutes and legs and your whole back, and you'll just find yourself just more relaxed when you do that. Number 3, be ready for prime time. Teleconferencing and video calls are not the future. They are happening right now. It's kind of the saving grace in all this. As we're socially distanced from one another, the thing that has kept us most connected is technology. So use your iPhone, use your iPads, use your computer. You got Skype, you got Snapchat, you got Instagram. I'm trying to think of all the video platforms. You got Signal. There's all kind of apps that are out there that let you video with people. And of course, if you have iPhone to iPhone, you have FaceTime. Use this technology right now. But in the course of your job, this technology is already working as well. Zoom calls is another one. Save your office's dial-in number to your phone's favorites so you're ready to jump on a call at any moment. I briefly worked as a producer for an ill-fated digital venture called HuffPost Live. A big part of my job was to wrangle guests into joining a video Google Hangout. That's another place you could do this. Teach them how to be semi-presentable on camera. Here's what you need to do. Figure out where you're going to sit in your home when you're on video calls, and then do a test run. Just see how it looks, see how you sound. Make sure whether it is in view, it is viewable, clean, and presentable. I don't care how you live, but I don't want to have to bear witness to your shame. In other words, don't do this in your bathroom. Literally nobody wants to see your toilet, I promise you. They want to see a couch, they want to see like pictures on the wall. Let's don't see the unmentionable parts of your home life. If you're using a laptop camera, put it on a stack of books so that you're looking straight in the camera. We talked about that earlier. Not down at it. This is mostly to avoid the dreaded, dear God, does my chin really look like that? So yeah, if you ever like hold your phone down, you're always going to see the worst view of yourself. It's why you see all those teeny boppers do the, and they're doing it from on high because you look better from that angle. Straight on is the most professional look though. You want to be able to focus on your coworkers and not on how you look. Next, check the lighting. Now, I'm a little bit cheating here doing Jimmy rants because I have 2 professional lights that are lighting up this set that I'm on. Not everybody's going to have nice lights like I have to do a show like this. So it's not always going to look as good as this looks here, but get somewhere where the lighting isn't over glaring like I have above me here. If I turned on the main lights in here, this light here is really bright. So if I turned it on, it would overexpose my face and I would look like Casper the Friendly Ghost. But the flip side of it is you don't want to be in kind of a dark place because then nobody can see your face. So just try to get it where the light is behind the camera, shining at you. Even if that means you kind of put a light on your face, so to speak, back it up a certain amount of distance, and yeah, it will help people to be able to see you. The light source should be coming from behind the computer. It should not be in your frame with you on camera because it will blind everybody if it's behind you. If you have a desk lamp with a flexible arm, you can position that right behind your monitor with light pointed on your face. Sounds like, what does that matter? It matters because people want to be able to see you, and if you're having a deep conversation, maybe you're trying to close a deal that's worth a lot of money. Don't you want to look good for that? Don't you want to have the proper tools in place so that this could be the X factor that gets you the deal or doesn't get you the deal? Wear lipstick if you're a girl. If you're a guy, don't wear lipstick. If I wore lipstick on Jimmy Ranch, you would so know it, and it would be so bad. I would look like a clown. Our brains usually use a visual input to decipher what someone is saying. That's why it's so disconcerting when the lip sync on your TV is off. Differentiating your lips from the rest of your face will help the people on the other side of the screen tell what you're saying. If you don't wear lipstick, even just a swipe of lip balm will help. I don't think anybody's ever wondered what I'm saying because I'm not wearing lipstick, so I'm not sure about that one. But for girls, I guess I could see that. And then the last, framing wise, you want the camera to see from your chest to a few inches above your head. So that's kind of what I do on Jimmy Rants. You're seeing a little bit below the chest, but all the chest and up, and then above my head as well. And so it's good ideas. Filling the entire screen with a close-up of your face is bad. What? We don't want to see this? What? We don't want to be a psycho? What? Yeah, literally nobody wants to see the boogers up your nose, I promise you. But don't sit so far away that they're like, hey, what's that facial expression? This is why I sit on the edge when I do Jimmy Rants, because I want you to see me as I'm intended to be seen. Plus, the further back you go, you can't hear, which is why these little microphones, people always ask me about these microphones since I got them. Maybe I'll do a technology Jimmy Rants where I can explain these and other things, but this allows me through Bluetooth technology to be able to get the message out so you can hear me well, and maybe invest in something like this. I know the Apple earbuds also have the ability for you to talk and people can hear you pretty well no matter how close you are. And then number 4, make your home more pleasant. If you're at home and you don't have a pleasant home, what's your problem? Like, make home pleasant. Like, home is supposed to be your respite from the world. And so if your home's not pleasant, use this opportunity to make it more pleasant. Take the opportunity of your extended presence at home to make it nice. If you haven't already, be sure to stock up on extra pantry items for meals. Things like butter, salt, spices, canned goods, garlic. Stay on top of keeping the kitchen clean so you aren't walking by a pile of dirty dishes every time you go to get your coffee. There's never been a better time to wipe down your bathroom counters, wash your hand towels and your bath mat. While you're at it, change the sheets on your bed, wash your pajamas. With nothing on the evening agenda, cook some slow, luxurious meals. I recently made a bolognese and pork shoulder, both of which require hours and hours of cooking time. Most of it is hands-off for you if you're trying to avoid excess trips to the grocery store. You can look for all kinds of ideas for easy recipes that make things from things you already have on hand. The cool thing I think too would be neat right now is if you have a slow cooker, or as we call it down here in the South, crock pot. You got a crock pot, slow cooker. Put something in there in the morning and let it slowly simmer. What happens is while you're working throughout the day, you smell that bad boy all through your house. And it's so glorious. If you've ever made bone broth, same thing. You smell it all through your house. It's beautiful. And then finally, number 5, maintain your connections and your mental health. Guys, you know this is the primary reason I have come on Jimmy Rant so much lately. Because I'm deeply concerned that people are using this time of socially isolating from people as a way to disconnect from people, and that disconnection is messing with their brains and messing with their mental health and making this a whole lot harder than it ever needed to be. Staying away from the office means missing out on casual day-to-day conversation with your colleagues. Do you even think about that social interaction you have with coworkers, what it's doing for you. Maybe you've never thought about that. Maybe you never realized that Jack, when you talk to Jack in the office, you got a little dopamine release from that. Maybe you didn't realize at lunchtime when you have the same people that come to lunch at the same time you do, that you would socialize with them and you had this conversation with them, that that was a part of your life that now that you don't have it, you're missing. And you're not getting that kind of connection with people. So make it a point to spend more of your free time, which you've got a lot more of now, reaching out to people via text and then on social media, video calls, to friends, relatives, coworkers. You can also host a virtual game night. I have seen here on Instagram my life coach, Rachel Freeman, and a lot of her friends, they do a dance party every single day. I want to say it's like 3 p.m. They do a dance party. Literally, they all get on like a Zoom call together and they are just dancing like wild people to some fun song. I think they did ABBA yesterday, Dancing Queen, and they were just all, ah! Do something fun. Get that connection with people. Just because we're having to socially isolate from one another, socially distance ourselves physically from one another, does not mean we need to break that emotional connection with one another. I think a lot of you guys watch Jimmy Rants because you like the emotional connection of someone who's familiar to you. And I'm not gonna lie, I like the connection to you guys when I'm reading your comments and seeing that you're watching this and you're getting benefit out of it. And a lot of you are writing me after and, oh my God, I'm so glad you're out there doing Jimmy Rants. I feel like I'm still connected to some real part of my life. I mean, that's what it's all about right now. We don't need to let the coronavirus disconnect us as a society, because that will have long-lasting ramifications long after this is all over. Stay connected now. And it's an important part. If you're going to be at home, work at home, and be out of your regular routine, you got to do these things. Not stressing out about all the news of the coronavirus is so essential. It's easier said than done, but it's really worth the effort in trying. So let me leave you with this. The single most important advice I can possibly impart to you is be sure you mute yourself when you're on a conference call. Especially if you have screaming kids and barking dogs in the background. Yeah, nobody wants to hear all that. So yes, when you're not talking, mute yourself on the conference call. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else I would add to it. So as I have been talking about, when I went on sabbatical, I learned how to chill during the daytime. Well, since I've been back from sabbatical, I have still implemented those times of chill. So I know it said in the article to take lunch and physically get up from your desk, blah, blah, blah. But take it one step further. Take breaks, like physically go do something fun for half an hour. Just at a random time in your day. If you're able to work it in, get it in. And even if that means you work a little longer, either earlier in the day or later in the day, it's worth it to have those extra fun breaks in your day today. But this is kind of cool, guys, because a lot of people have always wanted to work from home, but they didn't know what it would look like. And they didn't know how easy or hard it would be. I think a lot of people are having the growing pains of it because it's so new to them. But as someone who's done this for 15 years, and this LA Times writer has done it for a little while, once you get in a groove and you realize kind of the perks that come from working from home, it makes you want to work from home all the more. All right, let's see what you guys have to say here on Instagram Live. We'll come to Facebook Live if we have time. Thank you guys again for being here today. Welcome in, welcome in. As always, go to jimmyrants.com if you want to engage in the past episodes of this show. And then YouTube, just type in a keyword, Jimmy Rants, you will find the show. My Goodness Health says, yes, it's been very tough with little kids at home. Yeah, my friend Keto in Canada, Joanna Wilcox, God bless her. Like, she's always been one of those that wears her heart on her sleeve. And she did a series of stories the other day. She came on the story. You could see the mascara had run. She was bawling her eyes out. She was sitting at her work desk. And in the background, you could hear her kids screaming at the top of their lungs. The dog was just barking incessantly, literally a bark every second. And she's sitting there, you could see she was just broken. And so if you got little bitty kids at home, oh my gosh, I feel for you right now. The best thing I can say is just try to get them outside, keep them occupied as best as you can, and hopefully we get back to normal sometime within the next millennia. Nancy says, I've worked from home since 2012. I found getting up, showered, and dressed every morning keeps me on track. Setting a rough schedule each day keeps me focused. Yeah, when I get up in the morning, first thing I do is I get a big glass of water and I drink it. Then I go into my hot tub for about a half an hour to chill. I get up, get out, drip dry. And while I'm drip drying, I'm playing a little bit of Words with Friends, just kind of relaxing in the morning. Then I'll come and take a shower and shave and all the things. Then go back and then start doing my work. And it's the same way for me. You kind of get in this routine of what you do, and then you're ready to rock when it's time to go. Ilza says, sleep later beats any crazy salary. Yeah. And it's good for you to sleep in a little bit. Miranda says, I love it working from home. I wear my PJs. Yeah, if you want to wear your PJs, go for it. Like I said, nobody wants that image of Jimmy Moore doing a podcast in his underwear. No. Ilza said, I went from smart to casual, and it's who I am. I'm comfortable, express myself with my style. Find your style. It's all good. You're not trying to impress anybody. Most Wi-Fi connections will reach to your backyard. Try having your laptop outside once in a while for a change. Yeah, I've done that from time to time, but I also get up and purposely get out in the sun because you want that exposure. If you're in a non-video telephone conference call and have to use the bathroom, remember, hit the mute. Yeah, that's what he said at the end of the article. Mute yourself if you're going to be in a conference call. I use no makeup, never have, but I do make sure I speak well. Yeah. If you speak well, nobody cares what you look like or if you have makeup on, unless it makes you feel pretty and confident. Go for it. Cariana says, makeup emphasizes features that would otherwise fade on camera. That's why even male news anchors use it. Yeah, I've done enough television when I've been on TV. And I remember they put this foundation. I had it last year. I was on this show, the Ask Dr. Nandy show. And it was a syndicated TV show where they were interviewing me about keto. And yeah, they just loaded up my face with this foundation stuff. I got a little bit of stuff on my lips and around my eyes just so I didn't look like a ghost on the screen. So yes, I'm abundantly aware of the importance of makeup for TV, for example. Keto Fit Mom, SAHM, so not much different than normal. Exactly. Thank you. Yes. All right. Let's see what Facebook Live has to say. Hey guys, what's going on? Let's see what you guys have to say about all this. Valerie says, I've been working at home for 7 years, still on a schedule. Just started back to keto after falling off the train from stress and changes, but I'm trying to remain strong. Valerie, that's awesome, girl. And I'm sure you have a lot to say about this working from home thing. Rhonda says, this is exactly the support that I needed today. Thank you. I'm working and listening in from home. I was sensing that there were people who were struggling with this topic of working from home. How do you do it? I think I take it for granted a little bit because I've done it for so long now. It was always my dream to want to work from home, want to work for myself. A lot of you who are working from home, you're not working for yourself yet. And maybe you're like, oh man, I wish I could work for myself. I've got some ideas about what I want to do. I just wish I had the courage to just go out on my own. Well, guess what, guys? My next Jimmy Rants is at 5 p.m. Eastern time today. And guess what I'm doing it on? If you've got a business idea, if you've got something in your heart that you think could be something that would be a business that you could start, an online business, a podcast, a blog, something, come back at 5 o'clock ready to pick my brain, because I literally consult with people all the time who have business ideas and they know that I've been successful, and they're like, hey, can I run this by you? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, just be prepared though, because I'm blunt. I don't hold back. If I think your idea sucks, I'm gonna tell you it sucks. Sorry, not sorry. You asked my opinion, I'm gonna tell you. So come back with your ideas at 5 o'clock. I really wanna help you guys. Maybe this is your opportunity to fulfill that hope and dream you've always wanted to have of your own business. So I wanna see you be successful. That shirt livens you up. Yellow is happy. Yeah, it's actually orange, but on screen with all the bright lights, it does kind of look yellow, I suppose, on camera. But it's orange. But yeah, I like loud shirts. I sit outside on the table under the gazebo. Often great light and the nature around you gives a different feel. Exactly. So guys, be back here 5 p.m. Eastern time today. We'll do another Jimmy Rants. And I would love to help you kind of develop your business idea. So throw your best shot at me, put together your thoughts about this, and be prepared to kind of put it in one little comment, because I'm going to give you like some intense advice and my feedback. Of course, you can take what I say with a grain of salt, or you can take it and go, oh wow, I didn't think of it that way. But that's what gets my juices going, is seeing other people succeed. So come back 5 p.m. Eastern time today on Jimmy Rants. So jimmyrants.com is the website. As always, if you want to engage live in the show, you got to go follow me. I'm over on Instagram Live. We also simulcast on Facebook Live, but Instagram Live is where we do the show. So I'm at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVIN LOWCARBMAN. You can also go to jimmyrants.com, see the past episodes. So on replay, you can watch the past episodes. Go to YouTube. Type in keyword Jimmy Rants, you will find the show as well. And that's how we do the show, you guys. Come back, 5 p.m. Eastern time. You got a business idea, you got something you want to, a brand you want to build, you got some idea that you think Jimmy Moore could help you with, come on back. I'm going to live help people right here on the air. I think this would be really cool in this time of transition for so many people. Maybe you don't know what's going to happen next. Maybe you lose your job at the end of this and you're going to need to be on your own. Let me help you starting at 5 p.m. today. So we'll see you guys a little bit later on, and we'll see you then.